BE Electrical and Electronics Engineering in St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering, Nagarkoil, and ME Power System Engineering in Sri Ramakrishna Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. He has been a vice chairman of IEEE student branch, St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering, and newsletter committee convener of IEEE student branch, and he has awarded Exemplary Icon Award 2014 and Best Leadership Award 2014 by Society of Electrical Engineers. He published papers in IEEE Explorer, Scopus Index journals, national and international conferences. He conducted many workshops and got certificates from the government by undergoing training on solar energy systems. Now I hand over the session to our resource person. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, you can take over the session, sir.
Okay. Can everyone see the presentation and is the audio audible?
Mr. Leo, your presentation is not visible.
Okay, and
yeah, we can view the screen now. Thank you.
Yeah, can you see the presentation now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning to one and all. I am Leo Shaker. I am a solar consultant. Today I'm going to take a webinar on solar installation and maintenance for your home. So, course will be about renewable energy, type of solar PV systems, and series and parallel connections of solar PV modules. And mainly we'll be concentrating on the calculation of how to set up a standalone PV system for your home. Okay. When you consider now renewable energy is a fast growing sector, and in that renewable energy, the solar is taking the most part. There are many kinds of solar panels like monocrystalline and polycrystalline, which were initially started. And now, as the technology is developing, we are getting more and more types of solar cells, like thin film solar cells, and also concentrated solar cells. Mainly, when we consider solar energy, will be from the sun we are getting heat and light. So we can use both the heat and light. For a solar PV panel system, we'll be using only the light, and for a thermal system, we'll be using the heat. So when we consider the non-renewable energy source, when we go for a fossil system, we need a fossil fuel, then we need a turbine, and then a mechanical converter and a generator to generate the electricity. And when we go to solar, directly from the sun, we are getting the sunlight, and the solar panel will directly convert the light into electrical energy. So we'll be eliminating the turbine system and generator and all the mechanical coupling. So it will be more cost efficient when we go for higher scale or even for a domestic scale also. These are the existing solar PV systems directly DC coupled. That is, solar PV panel will generate DC volt. So from the directly from the panel, we can apply a DC load. And the second type is solar PV panel with AC load. That means we'll be having an the DC source coming from the panel to AC, and we'll be supplying. There's another type that for photovoltaic hybrid system. In that, we can supply both DC load as well as AC load. For supplying the DC load, we'll be using a charge controller, and for AC load, we'll be using an inverter. And the grid connected, that is, we'll be having solar energy as well as the TNEB. We will be having the grid energy. We can use the grid energy when the solar power is there, or we can also export the power from the solar.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Not audible?
Yeah, your voice is breaking actually, and I request all the participants to turn off their camera. Mr. Periyasamy M. Sir, can you please turn off the camera? It is a kind request to avoid bandwidth issues. Participants, please turn off your camera. Okay, sir. Leo, sir, you can present. Hello?
Is it audible now?
No, sir, your voice is actually breaking. I think you are having connectivity issues there.
Hello?
Yeah, sir, it is audible. Please proceed.
Hello.
For it will be having a grid connector. That means we'll be having the grid power as well as the power. When we have excess solar power, we'll be transferring to the grid, or we'll be selling it to the grid. Or whenever it's in a cloud situation, the same will be which we require cannot be supplied by a PV panel to the
Sir, again the participants are saying I think your voice is breaking and you have connectivity issues. Can you check that, sir?
Oh,
Mr. Hussain, the PPT is visible for us actually. I think you have to check from your side. Please pin Mr. Leo Shager on the screen, sir, Mr. Hussain, so that you can view his PPT. I request participants once again to turn off their camera.
Is the presentation view the presentation
The
now?
presentation is not visible and your audio is right now clear.
Okay.
Please have your microphone close to your face, sir, so that we can clear it.
Connecting presentation.
Sir, your presentation is not visible, sir.
Yeah, just a minute. I'm just connecting.
Mr. Durairaj, please turn off your camera, sir. And Mr. Navneet.
Sir, please turn on your microphone, sir.
Sir, Mr. Leo, please turn on your microphone. You have to unmute yourself so that audience can hear you. Sir, please unmute your microphone, sir. Leo.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. The two types of major used solar PV system is an on-grid system and an off-grid system, which I discussed previously. In an off-grid system, you'll be having a battery bank for providing a backup power. And when we go for an on-grid system, we won't be having a battery backup because the grid power will be supplied to the house if there is a shortage of solar power, and whatever excess solar power we have will be exported to the grid. So in the on-grid system, the inverter will be having an anti-islanding option. That means whenever the grid power is turned off for any maintenance or anything, automatically the inverter will cut the power feed to the load also, because whenever the solar panel will be always generating the power. So when the grid power is turned off, there will be any electrical man working on the grid. So the way when the solar power is transmitted back to the grid, it will automatically affect the person who's handling the electrical equipment on the grid side. So in the on-grid system, there will be the inverter will have an anti-islanding option. But when we go for an off-grid system, when the grid power is turned off also, the battery bank will be supplying the load. So we'll be getting an uninterrupted power. In an off-grid system, there won't be any return power from the solar panel or from the battery bank to the grid. Okay. Mainly the three types of solar PV cells. There is monocrystalline cells, polycrystalline cells, and thin film cells. In which monocrystalline cell is the most efficient one because it has higher silicon content than the polycrystalline or thin film. And the main advantage is that for the thin film is you can mount it anywhere on the roof or on the wall or anywhere. But for a monocrystalline or polycrystalline panel, we should have a mounting structure.
Sir, your PPT is not visible, sir. Leo, you're presenting your screen instead of your PPT. The participants have been making queries in the chat box. Please present your screen, sir. You can have the PPT open and you can talk, sir. It will be useful for the participants.
Okay.
You just
is
go
the
to
being visible now?
Yeah, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay,
Is
sir.
it visible
Thank
now?
you, sir. Thank you. Proceed, sir.
Okay. Okay. Solar cell specification. A solar cell is the panel will be comprising of many solar cells. Each cell will have a maximum power of 4 watts. Voltage will be 0.6 volt and short circuit current will be 8.4 amps. For a monocrystalline, and the cell polarity is when we have a solar cell, the front portion will have the negative contact and the back other side of the cell will have the positive contact. These contact will to the thin film. That means first the negative of the solar cell will be joined to the next cell positive from top to bottom. Then from the positive, again it will be connected to the negative of the cell in the solar panel. And recently there is a new technology of the cell. Means we having take a single cell and we'll be cutting the cell into 2 or 3 or 4. Whenever we cut a single solar cell, the voltage will remain constant at 0.4 volt, but the current will reduce according to what ratio we are cutting the cell. If we are cutting single cell into two halves, we'll be having two cells with 0.4 volt and 4.2 amps instead of 8.4 amps. Okay. Solar panel fabrication. This is mainly done for the monocrystalline and polycrystalline panels. But for every panels, we'll be having a junction box at the back, which will be collecting all the positive and negative terminals of the solar cell arrays, and it will be insulated at the back, and the solar cell will be protected using EVA, encapsulated material. So no water or any other moisture will be affecting the solar cell, because whenever moisture or anything gets in contact with the cell quality will reduce. And at the top, be having a transparent glass.
Sir? Hello? Hello, Leo sir, can you hear me, sir? Sir, at least if you mail us the PPT, we could present it for you, and you can do the audio voiceover alone, sir. It will be possible. Mr. Leo, are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'll just mail you the presentation.
Okay, sir. Okay. Just mail me the presentation. Cheers.
Participants, sorry for the inconvenience. There is a connectivity issue. Will sort it soon. I request the participants to turn off your mic.
Hello.
You can present, sir. If you want me to change the slide, just say next slide. We'll change, sir.
Okay. Is my audio
I
audible
think
now?
it's clear for the participants now. I think your the slide is visible and you can hear Mr. Leo clearly. Please proceed, sir.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. I think I am having a bad coverage over here. Okay, we'll start from solar PV panel installation. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the solar PV panel voltage should never, when we buy a panel, we should always take into consideration that for a 12-volt panel, the panel voltage should never be less than 12 volts. If it's less than 12 volts, the panel is damaged or there's some misconnection in the electrical system. So whenever we do a series of parallel connection of a solar panel, we should never mismatch. Mismatch means we should not connect a 100 watts panel with a 150 watts panel. If you want to connect it a series, you go for either 100 watts panel or 150 watts panel. And we should always take into consideration that the sun will be moving from east to west. So during that time, there should be no shading at all. So we should place a solar panel wherever the sun's position is, where there shouldn't be any shading from any nearby obstacles. And the positive and negative terminals should be always connected carefully. If you're connecting it in series, the positive and negative terminals should be joined. If you're connecting it in parallel, positive and positive terminals should be joined and taken as one positive output. Okay, next slide. And the solar PV installation method, that is rooftop mount. We can mount it on the rooftop, or we can mount it in the ground, or also in a terrace mount. Mostly the rooftop mounts will be the thin film panels, or we can also design a framework, consider whether the roof is whether the roof is tilted or whether the roof is a terrace mount. Next slide. Okay, the mounting structure installation. This is one of the main points we should consider while erecting a solar PV system. Always the mounting structure should be of galvanized iron or aluminum structure, because the solar panel is going to be in the outer atmospheric condition. So there will be rain, there will be sun, there will be humidity. So if you're using galvanized iron or aluminum structure, there won't be a rust formation, and the life of the mounting structure will be more rather going for a mild steel or steel mounting structure. And always we should consider of mounting the solar panel structure towards the true south, because we are to the north of the equator. So the maximum sun intensity will be at the equator. So that's why we should always place a solar panel with a tilt towards the true south direction. And the tilt angle should be between 10 to 45 degrees maximum, because mostly they'll be calculating the tilt angle by calculating the latitude and longitude of the current location. But uh, the minimum 10 degree or 45 degree should be only done. If you go more than 45 degree, what will happen is, if you are getting maximum power from morning till afternoon, the power which you can obtain, the sunlight which you can obtain after the noon will be very less. So the maximum tilt should be around only 45 degree. Okay, next slide. Okay, these are some types of mounting structures. For example, the first one is a mounting structure which is done with a galvanized iron, a rod from grouting it to the ground and lifting it towards the sky. And the second one is a terrace mount structure. And the third one is a thin film panel. So we can mount it just by placing the thin film and just screwing it up at the ends of the panel. Next. Okay. The next main part is series and parallel connection of solar PV panels. When we consider, if normally the solar PV panels will be coming with 12 volts or 24-volt systems. So if you're going for a 24-volt system, you should connect two 12-volt panels in series. Or if you are having if you want more current, or if you want more voltage, you should connect the panels in series. If you want more current, you should connect the panels in parallel. So let us take this example. We are having four same rated solar panels. So the total voltage will be 4 times the individual voltage. So that is 76 volts. And the current will be the same, 8 amps. So the total power will be 76 into 8, which is 608 watts. Next slide. This is some people will say, I have a 100 watts panel and a 150 watts panel. Can I connect it in series, or can I connect it in parallel, mismatching the ratings of the panel? There are many disadvantages regarding those things. We'll be discussing those disadvantages in upcoming slides. That is, we are having 3 same rated panels and 1 panel with reduced voltage and reduced watt. So what will happen is, the total output volt will reduce. So 19 plus 19 plus 19 plus 17. So what will happen is, the overall output power watts will reduce if we connecting a different rated panels in series. The next slide. And the next possibility is, if you are connecting different panels with different current ratings, what will happen is, what will happen is, that is, the panel voltage will be added and the current of the total system will be reduced to the smallest system. That means in the 4 panels, the smallest current rating is 5 amps. So the overall output current will be only 5 amps. Even though if you have 8 amps or 7 amps, the output current will be limited to only 5 amps. Next slide. Hello. Can you change the slide? Okay. The next connection is parallel connection. That is, let us consider same panels. We are connecting 4 same rated panels. So the total voltage will be 19 volts and the current will be 4 times the individual panel current. Let us now take into consideration when we parallelly connect mismatched panels. Next slide. So in this example, if you see, can you change the slide? Okay. We are having similarly a different watt panel with a voltage lesser than the remaining three voltage. So what will happen is the current will be multiplication of four panels, but the voltage will be limited to the smallest value. So the 17 volt is the minimum voltage. So what will happen is the overall system voltage will be reduced to only 17 volts, not 19 volts. Next slide. Similarly, when we are connecting different panels, can you change the slide? Okay. When we are considering different panels with different current ratings, what will happen is the voltage will reduce to the minimum voltage, and the current will be added. So overall, what will we get is the total watts will reduce according to the current rating and the voltage rating when we mismatch the parallel and series connection with different rated panels. Okay, next slide. In the next example, if you're seeing, we are having 8 panels in which all the panels are hello. Change the next slide, please. Hello.
Sir.
I think the slide's not changed. Yeah. Now it's correct.
Okay.
Okay. When we consider this example, we are having 8 panels with same rating. So here, two panels are connected in series, and those are connected in parallel. That means 152 watts plus 152 watts will be connected in series, and overall the two series panels will be overall connected in parallel. So 19 volts plus 19 volts will give you 38 volts, and the current will, for a parallel connection, it will be the 4 times the total current. Okay, next slide. The solar PV connection flow chart. That is, the solar panel will be connected to the inverter. So the solar panel will be directly connected to the inverter, and the inverter will be linked to the battery. Hello. Okay. Sorry, I think I'm having a poor network connection here. So this is the solar PV connection. The panel will be connected to the inverter. So the DC power supply.
Sir, slide is not visible.
DC power supply will directly go to the inverter. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the panel will generate DC power. The inverter will convert the DC power and boost it to the battery. So the battery will start charging from the solar panel. Then after that, the battery will supply the DC power to the inverter, and the inverter will convert the DC into AC and supply it to the load. Next slide. Okay. These are the points which you should consider when we are installing an inverter. The inverter place should be mostly a cool place, or it shouldn't be a closed chamber. There should be some ventilation at least. Then after that, there should be no vibration or any sort of risk in having a short circuit or anything. And the inverter and the battery should be at least kept at a distance of minimum 0.5 meters. So there will be proper ventilation in between the battery and the inverter. Okay, next slide. Okay, next is the battery installation. If you are having an array of batteries, that means you are having two or four batteries. The space between the two batteries or four batteries, each battery should be spaced between at least 20 centimeters gap between those two, or minimum 10 centimeters. So there will be proper ventilation, and the interconnection also. When we are connecting two batteries in series or parallel, we should always take into consideration of correctly connecting the positive and negative terminal. There should be you should never reverse you should never reverse the connection of a positive or negative. That will result in explosion or also failure in the system. Okay, next slide. These are the commonly available battery and inverter combinations. Can you change the slide? Okay. So when we are having 500 VA to 1100 VA, we'll be having a 12 volt inverter. That means we'll be using a single 12 volt battery. When we go for a higher rated inverter, the system voltage will increase. For if you consider 2500 VA, the total inverter voltage value will be 36 volts. So what you should do is you should connect 12 volt batteries in series to get 36 volts. So similarly for a higher rating, you'll be connecting more batteries in series. And if you want a higher amp rating, what you can do is you can just for 36 volts you can connect three batteries in parallel with another three batteries, and the overall voltage will be 36. So we can directly connect it to the inverter if you need a higher amp rating. Okay, next slide. This is a typical distance which we should maintain when we install a battery and inverter. Shouldn't be any other electrical appliances or method placed near the inverter or the battery terminals. Next one. Next is functions of a charge controller. When we are going for a DC grid system, DC solar PV system, the main thing which will play a role is the solar charge controller. The solar charge controller, can you change the slide? In the solar charge controller, what will happen is the charge controller will collect the DC power which is generated by the solar panel, and it will regulate the voltage to 12 volt or 24 volt according to the rating of the charge controller. and it will supply it to the battery. So the battery will be charged using the solar panel through the charge controller. Whenever the battery is full, automatically what the charge controller will do is prevent overcharging. It will cut off the excess solar power which is coming from the panel. So automatically what it will do is the again the 12 volt from the battery will be taken back to the charge controller and it will be given out as a regulated 12 volt output. So any 12 volt DC load we can connect to the solar charge controller. This is the main function of the charge controller. Can you change the slide? Okay, the charge controller is also used in another format for if you're having a home UPS system. That means an ordinary inverter battery system at home, and if you want to connect a solar PV panel to the existing home UPS system, we can definitely connect the solar panel using a charge controller connection. That is, what we will do is we'll be connecting the solar PV panel directly to the charge controller, and the charge controller will be connected directly to the battery bank. So what we'll do is the solar will be charging the battery via the charge controller, and the battery volt will be directly connected to the inverter, which will convert the DC battery voltage to AC and supply the load. So that is one of the main advantages of the solar charge controller.
Hello, Mr. Leo. Hello. Hello. Hello, Mr. Leo.
Hello. Sorry, I'm having a poor bandwidth connection in here. Okay, and which side we are in now? Shankar?
Sir, solar charger controller connection.
Solar charge controller connections, right? Okay. In the solar charge controller connection, in the solar charge controller connection, we'll be having
Your
the
voice is
solar.
not audible.
It's not audible.
Mr. Leo, please speak now. Mr. Leo? Hello, Mr. Leo?
Yeah, Shankar, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you have your mic a little bit closer so that we can hear you?
Okay. Is it audible now?
Yes, it is audible. Please proceed, Mr. Leo.
Okay. Okay. I can't see the presentation now. Shankar, can you send the presentation? I can't view the presentation now.
Mr. Leo, you have to pin Shankar in your participant list so that you can view the presentation. Please scroll down in the participant list, search for Shankar and pin it to your screen so that you can view the presentation. And kind request to the participants, please don't present your screen, because if any of the participants presents the screen, then this presentation will not be visible to others. So that is a kind request. Already our resource person is having bandwidth issues, so please cooperate.
Okay. No, I
Currently we are
still, I
in
think
charge controller connection, sir.
Charge controller.
And I think you have the presentation in your laptop. You can have that slide, solar charge controller.
Solar charge controller. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see the charge controller. The solar panel positive and negative terminals will be connected to the positive and negative terminals of the panel in the charge controller. So what will the charge controller do is, it will take the solar power from the panel and it will start to regulate it to a standard 12 volt output. So the 12 volt output will be fed to the battery. And what the battery will do is, the battery will get charged automatically. So when the battery is getting charged, and when the battery is reach this 100% or maximum limit, automatically the charge controller will cut the power which is used for charging the panel, charging the battery. So the battery 12 volt will be again taken out and regulated to standard 12 volt and given to the DC load system. So you can connect any 12 volt DC system, which can be either the 12 volt light or 12 volt fan or any other 12 volt DC appliances. Okay. Next slide, we can go to conversion of home UPS to solar power UPS. Shankar, can you just unmute your audio?
Yeah, tell me, sir. Tell me, sir.
Okay. Have you gone to the conversion of home UPS to solar power UPS? Right?
Sir, I can't hear you. What, sir? Hello, Mr. Leo.
Have you gone to the slide where the conversion of home UPS?
Yes, sir. We have gone.
Hello?
We have gone to the slide. Please proceed, sir.
Okay. Okay. In this slide, you can see that The we are having a home UPS system, that is a battery bank, an inverter, and a AC load. This is the normal home UPS system. So if you want to connect a solar panel to this home UPS system, what you should do is you should directly connect a solar panel to a charge controller, and the charge controller should charge the battery bank. So what will happen is that 12 volt DC volt will be charging the battery, not the AC volt which is coming from the grid. So the panel will be directly connected to the battery. The battery will be charged, and the 12 volt from the battery will be taken to the inverter and supplied to the AC load. This is the method which we use for converting a home UPS system to solar power UPS system. Okay, in next slide. In the next slide, we are having the UPS and a charge controller. You can see. So what we will be doing is we'll be connecting the solar power and the battery to the charge controller, and from the battery the connections will be going to the inverter and to the AC load. Okay, on to the next slide. That is the measurement devices. The measurement devices which we mostly use in solar PV system is the irradiance measurement device, solar power meter, the IR thermometer, and a power quality analyzer or a voltage current measurement device. What the output of the solar panel is directly related to the irradiance of the sun. So if you have a bright sun, you will be having more voltage. So if you want to get draw a chart between the irradiance and the output voltage or output power, you can use this solar power meter, and you can, when you measure the irradiance for each irradiance, you can note what's the equivalent output power which you are getting from the solar panel. And the IR thermometer is used because whenever the temperature increase for 1 degree, there will be a reduce in voltage of 0.3 volt for every 1 degree increase in above 25 degrees centigrade. So the optimal thing is the panel should never get overheated. So most of them, what will they do is they'll be planting the small plants or potted plants under the solar panel. So automatically what will happen is the panel temperature will reduce. So as the temperature reduces, the efficiency of the panel will increase. The other thing is power quality analyzer. Using this, you can analyze the voltage, power, and you can draw the graph between the current and voltage, and also measure what's the output power you're getting. Is there any disconnection in the circuit or anything? You can use this for measuring other electrical parameters. Okay. Next is electrical safety. You should take into consideration that the DC voltage is more powerful than AC volt. So you should be very careful when you are installing a solar PV panel by your own. That is, either you should take the connection from the solar panel in the early morning or the late evening. So the output volt of the panel will be very less. Consider to the peak time at noon or around 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And the positive and negative terminals should never be connected wrongly. If you are connecting it in series, positive and negative should be connected. If you are connecting it parallel, positive and positive should be connected, and negative should be connected. And whenever if you are having a 24 volt system, that means you are having you should need two 12 volt panels. So you will be connecting two 12 volt panels, and also the battery system which will be used for the inverter will be two 12 volt batteries. regarding the ampere rating of the battery. Okay. Next, we can go in for solar PV calculation. This is the main topic of today. The solar PV, if you want to install your own solar PV panel system for your home, how you should calculate the overall load, and how what sizing should be the panel, what sizing should be the battery and inverter rating. Each and everything you should take into consideration, because if anyone gets lesser than the required amount, the entire system will collapse. If you are having more than 400 Ah battery, and if you are using just only 200 watts panel or 300 watts rating panel, definitely the batteries won't get charged. So it is a crucial thing that you should take into consideration about the panel size, battery sizing, and inverter sizing also. So these are the steps. In the next slide, there are steps involved in solar PV installation. That is customer details and requirement, site inspection, load calculation, PV panel design, battery capacity, solar PCU design, and charge controller design. Charge controller design is if you are going for a completely DC system, not AC system with inverter. Okay. Next is the customer details. Shankar, okay. Hello, Shankar.
Yes, sir. I am there. It is in the slide. Current slide now. We are in customer details. Please proceed, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Participants, someone has unmuted your microphone. Please mute yourself.
Okay. The customer details. When this is the one thing which we do as solar consultant when we are designing a solar PV system for a customer. Or it can also take for your own thing. You can also take in these points for when you design your own system. That is, in the customer case, you will be gathering the name and customer, and also the site address. And next slide, and project details. And project details is take into consideration what is the annual electrical consumption of the customer. And also you should know type of whether it's a swampy area or it is a school or having a terrace area for mounting a structure, and whether there's any shading or anything. Also we should take into consideration whether there is frequent power cuts in that particular area, because each and every point will play a crucial role when you are designing a solar PV system. Because if there is a more power cut, the battery backup which you should give will be more, and the panel rating also should be more. So each and everything you should. Hello.
Your voice is actually breaking. And Darshini, please stop presenting, ma'am. If you are presenting, the bandwidth will be affected for the presenters as well as for participants also. I think cooperation from participants is the most important now. Can you present, sir? You can present now, sir. Ensure that you have a good connection.
Okay. Is it audible now, Shankar?
Yes, sir. It is audible.
Okay. Okay. Then in the next slide we can go. That is roof details. In this roof details, take into consideration what style of the roof, whether it is a terrace mount or it is a tilted roof, or whether it is a roof made of steel sheet. Everything you should take into consideration. And also you should see whether you can orient the solar panel in the true south direction. whether the roof, if you are having a sheet roof, whether the tilt of the roof is towards the south, or if it's not in south, we should make a different mounting structure design so that the solar panel will be mounted only in the true south direction. And also we should take into consideration if there's any shaded conditions over there. And if there will be any other construction made near the solar panel, so in near future the shading will happen. So we should take everything into consideration. And if you are going for an on-grid system only, you should be taking into consideration of the electrical things. That is whether you are having a LT connection or the HT connection, whether what is the national tariff of the particular place, or for their whether it is a domestic use, or whether it's a commercial use. And if you are going for this, you should know whether what is the nearest transformer rating if you are going for an on-grid system. Because in an on-grid system, what you will be doing is, when you have excess solar power, you will be transferring it to the grid. So you should know whether the grid is the transformer near you is able to take the excess power which you are transferring into the grid. Next slide, the solar assessment. That is, we should see the latitude and longitude of the current location, which you can take it from the online also. Because based on the latitude and longitude, we can measure the tilt angle. And we should take into consideration what is the annual temperature, whether the temperature will go on more than 30 degrees or something. So we should plan for some cooling system for the panel, so the efficiency of the panel will increase. And we should also take into consideration, in some places there will be heavy rain most of the time. So in those kind of places, what we should do is, we should be having excess panels. If the actual calculated value of the panel is for 1000 watts panel only is required, in places where it's mostly raining, you should be adding a 500 watts panel in extra also. So what will happen is, the overall power generation will increase. You can get 1500 watts with a dimmer light also. System. Usually what we should do is, what you are going to connect it to the solar PV system. So if you are connecting the entire house, you will be having TV, washing machine, etc. So if you are the entire solar PV system will be you will be having to around solar PV system. So using often, and what are loads which are using occasionally. That means the lighting load you will be using more often, the fan load you will be using more often, the TV load you will be using more often, and refrigerator. These and all are the loads which you will be using of the time. That means more around 8 hours. Fridge, washing machine, or iron box, the load will be more, around for a electrical geyser it will be around 2000 watt. For a mixie it will be around 1000 watt. So those loads and all, what it will happen is, we'll be using only for 15 minutes, or at the max of half an hour. So there won't be any big difference if you are connecting those loads into solar PV system. Because if you are connecting those loads into solar PV system, so your solar PV system should be increased. So what you can do is you can segregate the smaller loads and connect those loads to the PV system and get the maximum output. So what will happen where the maximum load, which the light load, fan you should calculate the total watt hour per day. That means you should take into consider you're using light. If you're using 5 lights of 10 watts for 8 hours, so what will be the total watts? Total watts will be 50 watts 8. And if you are having 2, it will be operating for 5 hours. So for a fan, it will be around 60 watts. So 60 into 2, that is 120 watts into 5 hours. So you should sum all the watt hours and you should calculate the total energy you required per day. That means the load which you are going to connect it in the solar, how much hours it will be operating and how much watts it will calculate. Because with this total energy required per day only, we'll be sizing every panel, battery and inverter also. And the next one is when you have finally calculated the energy needed per day, you should multiply it with 1.3. That is a standard value which normally every industry use for the loss in the system. That means when we are having the solar power, it will generate, there will be wire losses, there will be connection losses, and there will be some electrical losses, electronic losses inside the inverter and panel and wiring system also. So on an overall average scale, they'll be calculating it as 1.3. So total PV panel energy needed will be total energy needed per day into 1.3. Next slide. In the next slide is sizing of a PV module. So what this is the main thing where you should take into consideration the energy which you calculated, energy needed per day in the previous slide. So for the sizing of a solar PV panel, what you should do is energy needed per day divided by sunshine hours into system efficiency. The sunshine hours you can view it from the below website. Because in each and if you are considering a Coimbatore, the sunshine hours will be more because it's if, compared to the sunshine hours in Ooty. Because in Ooty most of the time it will be cloudy or it will rain. But in Coimbatore or Chennai or Trichy, in those places the sunshine hours will be more. So we should take the sunshine hours for an annual calculation. For a complete year, what is the average solar sunshine hours which you will be getting? So that you can visit this website which I have given below, and it will give you the particular exact location. If you are asking for Tudilur, it will show exactly for Tudilur how much it will be. For Ooty, it will how much it will be. For Kanyakumari, how much. So and the system efficiency, and we can't take it as an ideal system. So we are giving a maximum efficiency of 0.8. So for sizing the solar PV module, energy needed per day divided by sunshine hours into system efficiency. So this value will give you how much watts of panel you require for your load. Whether it's 500 watts or 700 watts or 200 watts, or sometimes if you are connecting greater loads, it may also go for 2.5 kilowatt or 5 kilowatt also. The next slide. In the next slide, we are having inverter sizing. So in the inverter sizing, it is just like there is no major calculation or anything. It's overall that is 25% of the load That means if you are having if you are connecting 5 10 watts light and two 120 watts fans, that means 50 plus 120, so 170 watts. So 25% excess of the 170 watts only is your inverter rating. That means it will be coming around 225 VA or something. So that is the small easy calculation for sizing an inverter. But if you are connecting a load such as a motor or a compressor or a AC or something, what you should do is initially the motor will be drawing more current. So the inverter sizing should be 3 times the capacity of the load. That means if you are having a 1 HP motor, it will be around 765 watts. So the inverter rating should be 3 times. That means at least minimum 2000 VA inverter should be used. This is the easy way to size your inverter for a PV system. In the next slide, battery sizing. Shankar, is it audible and clear?
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay. The next is the battery sizing. Because whenever you go for a battery system, you should consider the day of autonomy. The day of autonomy is the number of days where you are having no sun. That means no sun means the very dimmest days. When we go around in August or September, there will be monsoon rain. Automatically, what will happen is we'll be having very dull climate. So those kind of days only we'll be considering as no sun days. So that days we'll be taking into consideration of day of autonomy. So if you want, whenever you want to calculate the battery sizing, the total AH is total energy needed per day, which we calculated in the first slide, into the day of autonomy. If you are taking for Ooty, so maximum we will say the number of days of autonomy may be 3 days for a dull climate for in the month of August or September. So divided by the battery voltage and the depth of discharge. This is the formula used for sizing your battery. So the battery voltage is normally which you will be using is a 12-volt battery only, and the depth of discharge you can take it as 0.7, so 70%. So if you are going to discharge more, the battery life will reduce. So for calculation itself, we will be calculating with 0.7. So whenever the battery reaches 0.7, the excess battery backup which we have given will automatically support so that the battery won't get discharged more than 70%. So this is the formula used for battery sizing. Okay, the next slide. Okay,
Leo, are you there?
Hello?
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 Hello? It's audible, Shankar?
Yeah, it is audible, Leo. We are presently now in solar charge controller sizing. Can you speed it up, Leo?
Yeah,
I
okay.
think we have taken more than 1 hour time of our participants. So
Okay, I'll just speed it up.
yeah.
Okay. So a charge controller system sizing, that is, if you're going for a DC system, that is only using a panel, charge controller, battery, and a DC load. So for calculating the charge control rating, you can take the short circuit current of the PV panel, which you will be having in the nameplate details of the solar panel, and multiply it with 1.3. So that is the charge controller sizing. So the next slide. This is an example problem. Okay.
We are presently now in the problem slide, Leo. We have given a model of
Okay.
house, so we can proceed.
Model house, you are considering one 18 watts panel, sorry, 18 watts light and 60 watts fan and 75 watts refrigerator. This is just a problem. You can just we can rush it up now. So see how we are calculating the total energy required per day. That is 18 watts, which is operating for 4 hours, 60 watts, which is operating for 2 hours, and 75 watts, which is operating for 12 hours. So the total energy required per day is 90,092 watt hour per day. And when we consider the losses of 1.3, we will be getting around 1,419 watts per day. Okay, and we'll go to the slide. The size of solar PV panel. So the solar PV panel is taking the total energy watt hour per day divided by 3.4. 3.4 is the multiplication of the sunshine hours and the system efficiency. So what you are getting around 413 watt. So your panel sizing should be 413 watts. So in the standard market, we'll be getting 100 watts or 110 watts, and 150 watts and 200 watts. So with the availability of the solar panel, you can divide the availability considering 110 watts panel. So we'll be needing 3.76 module of 110 watts panel. So we can round it up to 4 modules. And the next slide, inverter sizing. So you are taken the total watts. So what is the watts? 18 watts light, 60 watts fan, and 75 watts refrigerator. So when you sum it up, you are getting 153 watts. So the thumb rule is you 25% excess of the total watts. So 25% of excess of the total watts will come around 191 VA inverter. In the market, you will be getting around 300 VA inverter or 350 VA inverter as a basic starting inverter size. So you can get the inverter which is greater than or nearby the value which you are getting. And the fourth slide is battery sizing. So the same formula applies over here. The total energy required and the day of autonomy I have taken 3 days and the battery voltage is 12 volt. So when we calculate the total average total value is 390 Ah. So we can round it up to 400 Ah battery. So two batteries of 12 volt and 200 Ah battery connected in parallel, you will be getting around 12 volt 400 Ah capacity. This is the battery sizing thing. And next thing is charge controller sizing. Charge controller sizing is
Sir, please proceed, Leo. It is visible and hello? Hello, Leo? As Mr. Leo was saying, we need 4 solar PV strings, each of 7.5 rating. And if you consider the losses, we have to multiply 1.3, and the total current rating would be 39 amps. So we have to select a solar charge controller of a rating that is higher than 39. That is, if in market we have a charge controller of 40 amps, so you can go for a charge controller of 40 amps at a voltage rating of 12 or higher as per your requirement. And I think I'll take over the session until Mr. Leo comes, because we have taken much of your time. So we'll get into the thumb rule. This will mark the end of the session actually. So the thumb rule is, if you are getting a panel of 1000 watts, that is if you are setting up a solar PV system of 1000 watt rating, you will get an output of 3 to 4 units for the total day during when solar irradiation is available. Then in a battery of 100 Ah 12 volt 100 Ah battery, you can store a unit of 1 unit. And while selecting an inverter, you have to select an inverter that has a rating higher than that of your total calculated rating. So we have calculated here. Leo had stated a problem, and the total load per day was as per his statement. Okay, Mr. Leo is here. Hello, Leo.
Okay. Sorry.
Actually,
As for the problem which
I've mentioned the thumb rule. Leo, you can continue from the thumb rule for example slide.
From the example which I have listed, total load per day is 1419 watt hour per day. So total units, when you take it as a unit, it will come up 1.4 unit. So according to from the thumb rule, for a 4 unit, we will be needing 1000 watts. So for 1 unit, we will be needing around 250 watts. So for 1.5 units, it will come around roughly around 400 watts. So the thumb rule implies over here. From that, you can easily calculate the solar PV panel rating and the battery also. For 1 unit is 100 Ah. So 1.4 units we are roughly taking as 130. So for 3 days or a day of training, it will come around 400 Ah, which is the or equal to the calculated value. The inverter rating is 25% of the total watts, that is 150 watts, which comes around 200 VA. So from the thumb rule itself, instead of going for calculating the entire thing, you can easily calculate with these small thumb rules for a solar PV design. Shankar, I think so we can wind up.
Okay, sir. Okay. Now I request do the participants participants have been asking 2 queries, Leo. We can clear that and we can end the session. The first query was, how much will it cost for installing a PV for a home?
For installation of a home, if you're going for the solar PV panel system starts from around 35,000. 35,000 means you can connect a single fan and 4 lights and a battery. It depends upon the load which you are going to connect. Even starting with 10,000 or 12,000, you can have a solar PV system. If you are going to connect more number of lights and having 2 to 3 fans, a TV and a refrigerator, having 2 TVs, refrigerator and more than 7 or 8 lights, it will go around 1 kilowatt will be more than sufficient. That will cost around 95,000 to 1,20,000, depending upon the quality of the brand of the product. If you are going for a Luminous or Exide or Microtech, the cost will come around 1.5 to 1.10 lakhs. There are other local brands also. If you go for that, even you can design a 1 kilowatt PV system for even 70,000. It depends upon the load and the brand of the product. If you want lesser load, you can, as I said, you can segregate what are the basic essential load. So you can connect those things to solar. So then automatically the cost of the solar will reduce. So the solar panel start from 15,000 to it can go on for lakhs also. Okay, next question, Shankar. Hello.
Was like, is there any subsidiary from PV for, I mean, any central or state government organizations for installation of PV system?
Okay. In every state in India, they have a separate energy association. For Tamil Nadu, that is TEDA, Tamil Nadu Energy Development Association. For these association will decide the subsidies. If you go for Karnataka and Kerala, the subsidies will vary. In Tamil Nadu, the only subsidy given is, as for now, is on-grid system. On-grid system is if you are going for a domestic on-grid system, you will be getting around 22% to 30% of government subsidy of the total amount. That is the only subsidy we are getting in Tamil Nadu as for now. For each and every state, the different associations will they will calculate and they will allocate different subsidies. Okay, that's it. I think so, Shankar. Hello.
Sir, one more
Yeah. Yes, tell me.
doubt from sir. What are the consequences for installing the panel in series and parallel, sir? Which one is advantages?
Which one is advantages? It's not like which is advantages. If you are, for example, if you are having more battery bank, that is 400 Ah or 600 Ah battery banks, the current rating capacity is more in the battery side. So the most efficient thing will be connecting in parallel system. So when we connect parallelly, if you are having a 24-volt system and you are having a 400 Ah battery system, so what you can do is you can take four panels, four 12-volt panel, connect two panels in parallel, two parallels in parallel, then connect those two parallel arrays in series. So you will get an overall voltage of 24 volt and the current rating also will be increased. If you have a greater battery backup, parallel connection is most efficient for you. That is a practical. There's not a much of a difference in parallel or series connection, but at a practical point of view, if you have having a battery bank larger, parallel connection systems will be more efficient than the series connection systems.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And the participants also have been asking few queries. Your queries can be, your answer for your queries will be mailed to you personally, as we have taken much of your time and a few participants have been having other webinars. We'll end the session now. Now I invite Mr. Pranav Sai of third year Tripoli to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning to everyone. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I would like to express our sincere thanks to Mr. G. Leo Sekar sir for giving an excellent coverage to solar PV installation and maintenance. We are all inspired by your great thoughts, sir. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our management, principal, head of the department, and faculty members and students and friends for providing encouragement, support, and guidance. I want to state my thanks to all the participants. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you to all the participants. Feedback link has been sent through the chat box. and the feedback link will be closed at 2 p.m. today. So take your time to fill the feedback form, and to all the participants, you will receive the certificate by today evening. And I'll post a short video explaining how to calculate the PV, solar PV design for your home again. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Thank you all for the participation. Thank you. And I personally thank Leo Segar for handling the session for us. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Sir.
Okay,
Hello.
sir.
I am Balasubramanian from Kumaraguru College of Technology.
Okay, okay, sir.
Sir, is it possible to manufacture this control panel, sir, solar panel locally? Nowadays, it is buying from or imported from other countries, then it will make a panel. But now, is it possible to manufacture that panel here? Hello, sir. Hello. Sir,
Sir,
are you
Mr.
hearing?
Mr. Balasubramanian, sir.
Yes,
Actually,
sir.
actually,
Sir.
in India, we are only assembled the panel.
Okay, sir.
Due to cost-effective reason, we are most of the panels imported from China.
China. Okay, sir.
We are just assembling the panel here. Actually, the truth is they are assembling here only, but they are
Okay.
most of the market are saying we are manufacturing, but they are only
Okay.
filling and assembling. Coimbatore has a number of assembly centers. So if
Okay. One more question, sir. Is it possible to alter the profile of the solar panel? Is possibility? Any possibilities here?
sir, it is not possible. Once you fix the sheet, the panel,
Okay. Right, sir.
you cannot remove it. It will damage after the removing the panel. So I'll give
Okay.
some of the manufacturers, some of the assemblers details to you, sir. Please send your mail.
Okay, sir. I send a mail in chat box, right, sir? Just now I am sending, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, we will send you the solar panel manufacturers and the details to in WhatsApp group, sir. And also the PPTs.
Hello. Sir.
Sir, Mr. Tangara, sir, any queries?
Sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, is there any data available in the solar manufacturing details agri side, sir?
Sir, we will get the detail from our keynote speaker and send through your mail ID. Please give your mail ID in the chat box or WhatsApp group, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
We will send all the detail what you want from our keynote speaker.
Okay,
Please
sir.
give your mail ID to our in chat box or in our WhatsApp group, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, for sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.